Hello students, how are you all? I hope everything is going well. All of you gained an excellent knowledge of soil weathering, various factors affecting weathering, soil erosion, deforestation, and the causes of soil pollution. Let us watch the information to go through further in this video. Learning objectives. By the end of this video, you will be getting a clear idea of biogeochemical cycles, the ozone layer formation and depletion, and the role of chlorofluorocarbons. Keywords: weathering, biogeochemical, greenhouse effect, droughts, floods, troposphere, deforestation, industrialization, stratosphere. Living things within an ecosystem interact with each other and with the non-living environment to form an ecological unit. Resources in ecosystems regenerate within themselves. Nature stores the bulk of the various chemical elements in a physical state, chemical form, and specific location in the cycle, which in turn may get disturbed by the accumulation of any element at some point in a different physical state or chemical form, causing pollution and disrupting environmental balance. We would need to know some of the cycles of nature that involve the flow of nutrients on earth, elements essential for the living cells from the environment to organisms and back through certain pathways are known as biogeochemical cycles. Biogeochemical cycles. A constant interaction between the biotic and abiotic components of the biosphere makes it a dynamic but stable system. These interactions consist of the transfer of matter and energy between the different components of the biosphere. Biogeochemical means the reservoir of nutrients on Earth may contain some chemicals of biological origin, while others may be purely inorganic in nature and geochemical, obtained from rocks and soil in origin. Let's start the cycles with the water cycle. The water cycle. Earth neither gets water added to it nor does it disappear. Water is constantly recycled in a process known as the hydrological or water cycle. Nearly 97% of all the water on the earth is in the oceans and only 3% is fresh water. About 2% of this fresh water is permanently frozen in glaciers and at the polar ice caps. Thus, only about 1% is available fresh water. Again, about 1/4 of this 1% is present as groundwater. Only about 0.009% of the water on earth is in the rivers and lakes, and the rest is present in the bodies of living organisms as soil moisture, humidity, of the atmosphere, etc. Water precipitates in many biochemical mechanisms, including photosynthesis, digestion, and cellular respiration. Water even keeps the body hydrated. It is also the habitat for many species of plants, animals, and microorganisms, and it participates in the cycling of the materials used by living things. The process by which water evaporates and falls back on the surface of the earth as rain and other forms of precipitation, including its flow from land into the sea or oceans via several routes like river, groundwater channels, etc., is known as the water cycle. All water that falls on the land does not flow back into the sea. Some of it sinks into the soil and becomes part of the groundwater reservoir of fresh water and may be found as springs or on the surface as wells or tube wells. Water provides hydrogen and oxygen that form an integral part of the basic organic compounds of life. The important feature of the water cycle is that water can dissolve a large number of substances. The rain in water cleans the environment by transportation and distribution of soil pollutants in different water bodies like lakes and oceans, resulting in dilution in the intensity of pollutants. Water flows through or over rocks containing soluble minerals. So, it carries many nutrients from the land to the sea. Some of these nutrients get dissolved in the water and used by marine organisms, and the rest of these get deposited. This takes a longer time to complete the cycle through the system. The dissolution of some harmful substances, gases like SO2 and oxides of nitrogen in rainwater leads to acid rains. Oxygen cycle. Oxygen is an abundant element on Earth next to nitrogen. It is found in the elemental form in the atmosphere to the extent of nearly 21% and exists in combined form in the Earth's crust and also as carbon dioxide in the air. In the crust, it is found as the oxides of most metals and also as carbonate, sulfate, nitrate, and other compounds. It is also an essential component of most biological molecules like carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, and fats or lipids. Oxygen is vital for life in many ways. Respiration utilizes oxygen releasing carbon dioxide to atmospheric pool, maintaining a balance in nature. Dissolved oxygen supports aquatic life. Oxygen dissolves in water based on different conditions. Oxygen is needed for the decomposition of organic waste. Aerobic bacteria that convert organic waste materials into stable inorganic materials helps in the decomposition of organic waste. If enough oxygen is not available for these bacteria, they die, and anaerobic bacteria that do not need oxygen take over. These bacteria change waste materials into H2S and other poisonous and foul smelling substances. So, we need to know about BOD, representing the amount of oxygen needed by the aerobic bacteria to decompose the waste. As the waste gets degraded and the dissolved oxygen is used up proportionately, the need or demand for oxygen increases, that is, the BOD increases. Thus, BOD is a good indirect indicator of the amount of biodegradable waste. How this oxygen is cycled and stored. Oxygen from the atmosphere is used up mainly by the processes of combustion, respiration, and the formation of oxides of elements like nitrogen, iron, etc. Oxygen is returned to the atmosphere in only one major process, that is photosynthesis. Let's know something about ozone layer. The Earth's atmosphere is divided into several layers. The lowest region, the troposphere, extends from the Earth's surface up to 10 km in altitude. Virtually all human activities occur in the troposphere. The next layer, the stratosphere, continues from 10 km to about 50 km. Normal oxygen, which we breathe, has 2 oxygen atoms and is colorless and odorless. Most commercial airline traffic occurs in the lower part of the stratosphere. Most atmospheric ozone is concentrated in a layer of stratosphere about 15 to 30 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Now, let's focus on the formation of ozone. Ozone is a molecule containing 3 oxygen atoms. It is blue and has a strong odor. However, even a small amount of ozone plays a key role in the atmosphere. The ozone layer absorbs a portion of the radiation from the sun, preventing it from reaching the planet's surface. These rays cause many harmful effects, including various types of skin cancer and harm to some crops, certain materials, and some forms of marine life. Ozone depletion. Certain industrial processes and consumer products result in the emission of ozone depleting substances to the atmosphere. These gases bring chlorine and fluorine atoms to the stratosphere, where they destroy ozone in chemical reactions. Important examples are the chlorofluorocarbons (CFC) are used in refrigeration and air conditioning systems. Most of these gases accumulate in the lower atmosphere because they are unreactive and do not dissolve readily in rain or snow. Natural air motions transport these accumulated gases to the stratosphere, where they are converted to more reactive gases. Some of these gases then participate in reaction that destroy ozone. The hole in the ozone layer is not a hole, as it was observed that there is more depletion of ozone in Antarctica than in Arctic region. Points to remember. Living things within an ecosystem interact with each other and also with their non-living environment to form an ecological unit. Earth never gets water added to it, nor does it disappear. Water is constantly recycled in a process known as the hydrological or water cycle. This phenomenon of naturally warming up of environment is called greenhouse effect. Ozone is a molecule containing 3 oxygen atoms. More usage of chlorofluorocarbons causes damage to the ozone layer.